welcome to the channel, everyone. On today's video, we're looking at this 2017 Mini Cooper. This is the Countryman Edition with the 1.5 liter. Now, the issue we have with this vehicle is the check engine light illuminating. Checking the codes, what we come up with is a code P0446, a very common code. And here are a few different things we can try to fix that issue. One of the most common things that can cause this issue or a code is your gas cap. Over time, these seals on the gas caps tend to not seal correctly. It's a closed system. So that's one thing that should be replaced. If that doesn't do the trick, there's also another common failure part that's under the engine cover here. So if you just lift up on the cover, you should be able to unlatch it just like so. There's no nuts or bolts that hold this cover onto the engine. It's just push pin locks into these. You can see these push pins here. There's one here, and here. And there's also one in the back. Once the cover is off, that exposes this valve here. That's another part which is a very common failure on these. That's called a vent valve, a purge valve, or sometimes even a breather valve. So many different names. Again, that's another common failure. We'll be replacing the gas cap and this valve. Hopefully that will take care of the P0446 code that we have coming on. So here we have a brand new fuel cap that we'll be replacing. It seems to match our original perfectly. Now there is a little leash attached to this on the end here. Now what you can do to remove it, you can take a screwdriver like this, and you might have to give it a push that way and pull the thing out just like that. And with their new cap, seems to fit pretty good. So you want to go ahead and push that through the hole here, and we will give it a push with a screwdriver in that direction, and that'll lock that in. Okay. We also have our new replacement purge valve here. So to replace this valve, there's obviously going to be 3 connections. One tube here, one up top here, and this tube here. And there's one electrical connection right behind this tube here. Now, to this tube on this end, if you just squeeze these button ends on it, just like this, the locking tabs, if you squeeze them in, you should be able to unlock it. And you can pull that hose off of it, just like so, being careful not to stretch it too far and break it. They are plastic. And there is a locking tab on the electrical connector also. We can take a screwdriver. I was able to remove this valve. Unfortunately, I couldn't film it with one hand. But the easiest thing was to remove this hose on the side, the electrical connector, by pulling this white tab with a screwdriver and then squeezing it in, and that comes right off. And then you're able to wiggle this around and squeeze in these locking tabs on the ends. I ended up using pliers. You don't want to squeeze them too hard. It is plastic. They tend to get brittle. They can break. So now that we have that off, we'll go ahead and install our new valve in. Remember, it goes right onto this tab here. There's a little rubber piece. The new one has it. Looks like my old one is stuck on here. So we'll get that off. And we'll get this locked back in here again. Let's get everything plugged in. So we have all the lines back on. All we need to do is push these to lock in. Now, there is rubber seals. You can see that on this end here. They all have them. This one's internally. You want to make sure those are intact, clean. It does help to put a little bit of a dielectric grease on the ends. That helps to make sure it slides in and it doesn't tear the O-ring. So once you have these on here, and that'll lock just like so. This one's already been locked. This side's locked in. And we got an electrical connector back on. Now we can go ahead and put our engine cover on. Remember, your engine cover locks onto these tabs here. There's one here, one here. There's one here. There's also one here in the back, and another one on this side in the back. And if you look at the inner underside of the cover, this is where they lock into. So you want to get that into position. So those two parts are easily replaceable, and the most common failure causing the emission P0446 code. So hopefully this video has helped someone out. If you have any questions, comments, please do let me know. I thank you for watching.